You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Beecham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to another edition of Stat Boy Sports Bar for today on Monday, June 24th, 2024. Another mixed up week, but with good reason. Because in less than about 90 minutes, we're here, it's happened, it's taking place today. The Stanley Cup Finals has gone to a Game 7. Didn't think it was going to take place, but it did. And so that triggers a watch-along, which I am very excited for. It's leg 3 of the big 4 in sports. I've already done the Super Bowl. I've done the NBA Finals. I'm doing the Stanley Cup Finals tonight. And in late September, October, the World Series. Plus, you never know what else is going to come up during the year, which a watch along could take place. So we're here on Monday because it's Game 7, and of course I have to work my regular job tomorrow because that's the way it was scheduled out. But next week, for certain, guaranteed, I'll be back in the sports bar at the regular scheduled time, June 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern. I have that Tuesday off. Work got that right. And as always, if you want to stop me dead in my tracks and ask me a question or leave a comment and want me to acknowledge you, remember, super chat, super chat, super chat. It's as simple as that. For about 30 to 45 minutes, I'll get to all the sports. We can take a break. We can start up another feed. I'll be right back here in this area looking at the Stat Boy or the Stat Roku 9000 with the headphones following Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. But like I always have been doing for the past couple of weeks, I'll give you a quick update as to what's been going on with me and what's been happening and what's going on in the world and all that good stuff. Not much new, not much we could talk about in the Instacart world. I've been getting a lot of doubles and a couple triples. Now, what is a double, what is a triple? It's when 2 batches or even 3 batches come up on one order. A batch is, the grocery list. If 2 batches pop up, they unofficially call it a double. If 3 come up, they call it a triple. And the pay goes up, but not much really more. There was a small little traffic incident in Gatlinburg due to a rock slide early today, so getting out of Gatlinburg was a thing. Remember, Sevier County is a tourist county, so Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Sevierville, a lot of tourists come in all over the year, and traffic sometimes can be bad going in and out of Gatlinburg, coming back into Pigeon Forge and Sevierville. So not much news there. But what happened just last week? Now, if you remember, earlier, I believe last summer, when Big Brother was a thing, I was announcing and reporting that a local Sevier County resident named Red Utley, was going to participate in Big Brother. And, Sevier County, is full of happy people, and Red was one of those happy people. That's why he was put on the show. And a couple months into my regular job, Red popped up, and we took a picture together. And I got onto his social media, and I'm trying to get him to follow me and everything. And so I had finished a work day in Gatlinburg, and I went to go walk in Gatlinburg, where Dory Lou works, and her son works there too. So I decided to kill some time because I had my car, and I was going to pick them up and bring them home after their work shifts. So they work for Ripley's, and Ripley's has multiple attractions. They have the aquarium, they have the mirror maze, they have the fun zone, they have the haunted mountain coaster, and they have a mini golf out there. Well, I thought that Dory Lou was working at the mirror maze. That he's easily recognizable because of his long red beard. So, I got all excited. I'm like, "Oh, Red, hey, how you doing?" And let me tell you, he is one of the nicest people in the world, probably. He is very polite. He is very respectable. On all his social media accounts, he says he loves humans and loves life. This guy is, Southern hospitality to the extreme. So we start talking, and he said he's going to go have a pint at a local Gatlinburg pub. Well, my switch turns on. I'm like, I can't pass this up. I said, Red, a pint sounds pretty good right about now. Let's go. I'm buying. And he's like, well, now that's nice there. And he's like, well, I'm about to go live. I'm like, sure, no problem. Go live. Now, he has TikTok. I do not have TikTok. I have the Facebook, I have the Twitter, and I have the Instagram. He's got the TikTok. So we go into an Irish pub, don't remember the name of it, and if you go onto my Twitter feed at LBStatKid1977, I went live while he was going live. Now on his feed, on his TikTok account, the live feed should be there. If you follow him on TikTok, and I believe his handle is LuckyRed85, I believe. He turns on his phone and he starts recording. And he's allowing me to plug myself. I'm giving him the name Statboy13 on Instagram. And that's all I said. I didn't say anything about the sports bar. But he started plugging me. He's like, if you want to know a lot about sports, I'm the guy to go to. And I'm just like, wow, this guy who hardly knows me is so nice that he's letting me plug myself and my show on his TikTok. This is great. So we go and order the drinks, and they had their specialty, of course, is Guinness. It's an Irish pub. And what they do is you can scan a QR code, and you can take any picture, be it on your phone or anything, and they will put the picture in the foam of the Guinness. Now, I have said that, I particularly don't care for the taste of Guinness, but I couldn't pass this up, so we order the drinks, and I want to get the name of the bar we went to. It's Boudica's Celtic Pub, Boudicca, in Gatlinburg. And he's still filming, recording, going live, and he takes the Guinness and he just downs it in like it's a glass of water. I took a few sips of mine, and I'm like, well, hey, I can't not drink this in front of Red. So on his live feed, I stand right behind him and I'm chugging it. And I drink it all down in one gulp after that. And so then I paid for the drinks, and he was very grateful. He said, "You didn't have to do that." I said, "Yes, I did. I do nice things for nice people, just like you do. You love life, and I do that." And we started to walk back up towards the aquarium and towards the fun zone, and then he had to leave to go do a battle of some kind in the river, and in the Gatlinburg River or something. I didn't catch all of it, but it's all on his social media, and we have swap numbers. And hey, if anybody in Sevier County sees him, number one, be polite to him. Number one rule, always be polite and be respectful. And he will sit there and he will talk to you like I'm talking to you right now. It was the greatest, one of the best day ever. And of course, I got a slight buzz from the Guinness. It's like I finally found Dory. She was working at the movie theater, and she could tell I had a buzz on from one Guinness, but it was because I drank it so fast. And she's like, "Go sit down and work it off or whatever." And got home and had a great night after that. So that's what happened just this last weekend. So who knows if there's a friendship or whatever it is. But he's a really great guy. I had a great time with him, and I really did want to show the live video. If it ever pops up in its services, and if I get permission, I will ask for permission. I'll show it, and like I said, we had a great time. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes, and let's get through to sports. That way, we can get to the Stanley Cup Final after this show. So let's bring up the graphics. And we start with the Travelers Championship in Cromwell, Connecticut. And we have the infamous Scotty Scheffler, who has now won his 6th PGA Tour championship. He has won 6 tournaments this season alone. Of course, all his other things that happened, we'll get to that in just a second. This story comes directly from PGAtour.com, and it is written by Paul Hodowanik. You can find him on the X at Paul Hodowanik. Scott Scheffler Sr. looked over the 18th green, perched 30 yards left on a large hill that frames the stadium-style finishing hole at TPC River Highlands. Pacing back and forth, he anxiously and eagerly awaited what was about to play out. His son, Scotty Scheffler, was down below, circling his ball 11 feet from the hole for birdie on the Travelers Championship's first playoff hole. Tom Kim, who 15 minutes earlier birdied the 18th to force a playoff, had just bladed his bunker shot well past the pin and missed the comebacker for par. Scheffler was 11 feet and 2 putts between him and his 6th victory of the season. Scott settled into his ideal viewing spot, nestled between the side of the grandstands and the shot-link tower. That crevice of viewing area, though, was the lone angle for a group of excitable fans lurking some 20 feet behind Scott to watch the proceedings. "Hey, move out of the way!" one fan shouted. Scott waved his hand to apologize and kneeled down, blocking his view in the process. He laughed and shrugged, realizing then that he didn't need to see what would happen. He has watched a similar scene play out more than a few times in recent months. Those fans hadn't. They deserved to see it. The sound would tell the story anyway. Moments later, the silence broke, the roars reached a crescendo and sustained. Scott knew what that meant. His son had listened. Scott jumped up, pumped his fist, and looked back toward the clubhouse. Scheffler's wife Meredith and their 6-week-old son Bennett were waiting inside until the tournament was sealed. Scott waved them up, then took his first look down the hill as his son hugged caddy Ted Scott. It was over. Scheffler bested Kim on the first playoff hole to win the Travelers Championship after both carded 22 under 258 at TPC River Highlands. It's Scheffler's 6th win of the season. He is the quickest to accomplish the feat since Arnold Palmer in 1962. 3 other players, Tiger Woods, Vijay Singh, and Nick Price, have won at least 6 times in a season since 1983, but none have done it as fast as Scheffler. Also at this event on the 18th hole, the final hole was disrupted by protesters who decided to come out with multicolored smoke bombs, and they decided to protest climate change. Now again, don't get me wrong, I am all for free speech and I am all for freedom of expression, but when it comes to stuff like this, disrupting public events and potentially defacing things, because they've also a video also has surfaced from one of the major wonders of the world at Stonehenge. People have walked up with it looks like a smoke bomb, but I'm hoping it was not spray paint, but there was a substance sprayed on the natural stone at Stonehenge, possibly ruining it. I don't know the full details about it, but you just don't do that. That's a natural habitat and a natural monument. That's kind of crossing a line in some cases. Again, and of course, freedom of expression is a U.S. constitutional right, but I don't know if it's a global right. So, of course, security and local police tackled, and there were 6 protesters there, I believe, and they all got arrested. They all got charged. They will all get their day in court, but still, it's just not the time to do that. That's even with pulling the camera as far back as they could, you still saw, people rushing the green, security, police officers. Scottie Scheffler was there and laughing. A few jokes were made that, another run-in with police took place with Scottie Scheffler. In this case, it was overall, protesters. That's basically what it was. Scottie Scheffler is still your leader in the FedEx Cup standings at 5,768. No major changes really in the scoring. The top 10 has remained the same, except that Scottie is now 6 wins deep. And of course, you have to be in the top 70 to be in the championship. These top 10 are pretty much safe, but anything can happen moving forward. The ladies played in the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. And let me bring up this story. And this comes directly from lpga.com/news. And this was written by Sarah Kellum at Sarah Kellum. Amy Yang has waited a long time to host a major championship trophy, and she finally got to do that just on Sunday at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Yang won the 3rd major of the 2024 LPGA Tour season at Sahali Country Club, carding an even par 72 in the final round to win by 3 shots and become a major champion in her 75th major start. She began the day at 7 under with a 2-shot lead over Lauren Hartledge and Miyu Yamashita, grabbing a birdie right out of the gate to move 3 ahead at 8 under overall. Hartledge and Yamashita both birdied the second hole to once again sit 2 behind Yang, and after the Republic of Korea native bogeyed the par 4 third hole, her advantage was cut to 1 shot with 15 holes to play. But Yang wasn't about to let her chasers back into the conversation. She chipped in for birdie on the par 3 fifth hole to get back to 8 under, making another birdie on the difficult par 4 eighth hole to get to 9 under. And when Hartledge doubles bogeyed holes 7 and 8, Yamashita also made a double of her own on 8. Yang was all around at the front of the pack. So congratulations to you, Amy Yang. Good job. And of course, the ladies are playing in the race of the CME Globe. Nelly Korda still leads at 32.85. Hannah Green at 15.37. Ayaka Fiore at 14.31. Lydia Ko at 11.67. Brooke M. Henderson at 10.27. Talia Vu at 10.21. Maya Stark at 973, Yuka Sasso at 954, Ali Ewing at 939, and Patty Tavatanakit at 828. In tennis, the Cinch Championship and the Tara Wortman Open in London, England, and Halle, Germany took place. Your winners were Tommy Paul and Jannik Sinner, and Jannik Sinner is now the number 1 player overall. This is his first tournament win as officially becoming number 1. The Joker is no longer number 1. Of course, they are playing in the top 8 race to Turin. Jannik Sinner is your number 1 guy at 5,800 points. Alexander Zverev at 4,585. Carlos Alcaraz at 3,950. Casper Ruud at 3,435. Daniil Medvedev at 3,200. Stefano Tsitsipas at 2,515. Alex de Minaur at 2,505. And Andrei Rublev at 2,220. The ladies played in 3 tournaments: the Roth SA Classic in Birmingham, England, the Ecotran Ladies Open in Berlin, Germany, and the Veneto Open in Gaibi, Italy. Yulia Putintseva, Jessica Peluga, and Alicia Parks are your winners. The top 8 there are not current. I did not update those, but I will get those out next week. In NASCAR, Christopher Bell is holding a broom because he swept. Not only did he win the USA Today 301, he also won the SciAps 200. So let's go to NASCAR.com and let's get this story directly from them. Bell weathers conditions, rolls to victory in weekend sweep at New Hampshire. Christopher Bell drove to his 3rd win of the NASCAR Cup Series season, emerging in overtime when Sunday's event turned into a wet weather showdown at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Bell led a race best 148 of the 305 laps in the number 20 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota and was 1.104 seconds ahead at the checkered flag. His second win at the 1.058 mile track also marked the 9th of his Cup Series career and capped a weekend sweep after his Xfinity Series win on Saturday. Chase Briscoe headed home as the runner-up in the number 14 Stewart-Haas Racing Ford. Briscoe's teammate Josh Berry took 3rd, while Kyle Larson 4th, and Chris Boucher completed the top 5. The race was halted by heavy afternoon rain and lightning at the 219 lap mark, prompting a red flag that lasted 2 hours and 14 minutes. When the race resumed in the evening hours with Tyler Reddick scored as the leader, it was with the aid of wet weather Goodyear tires under damp conditions. A handful of playoff hopefuls found trouble in the course of the event, with Alex Bowman becoming the first retiree with engine woes on his number 48 Hendrick Motorsport Chevrolet. He ended up last in the 36-car field. Martin Truex Jr. spun and crashed on lap 210 shortly after a lengthy pit stop at the stage 2 break left his number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota mired back in the pack. Chase Elliott and Joey Logano crashed together on lap 194 restart, and Kyle Busch's postseason hopes took another damaging hit after 3 incidents: a turn 2 tangle with Noah Gragson in the second stage, a lap 216 stack-up that sent his number 8 RCR Chevy spinning again, and finally a single-car crash into the turn 4 wall under caution on a damp track before the race went back green. The Cup Series' next race is the Alley 400, scheduled next Sunday in Nashville. Alrighty, so as far as your standings go, Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott are tied at 620 points. Kyle Larson does get the number 1 spot due to his performances. Denny Hamlin is in 3rd, Martin Truex Jr. 4th, Tyler Reddick 5th, Christopher Bell 6th, William Byron 7th, Ryan Blaney 8th, Ross Chastain 9th, Brad Keselowski 10th, Ty Gibbs 11th, Alex Bowman 12th, Chris Boucher 13th, Joey Logano 14th, Bubba Wallace 15th, and Chase Briscoe 16th. Kyle Busch is out of the top 16 right now. He's been going back and forth. He needs to buckle down. He needs to score points, and he needs to get back in there. Of course, there Christopher Bell did finish first in the SciAps 200 in his number 20 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Sheldon Creed took 2nd. Cole Custer in the double-out Ford 3rd. Justin Allgaier 4th. Carson Vapil 5th. Ryan Sieg 6th. Parker Kligerman 7th. Riley Herbst 8th. Alex Bowman 9th. And Corey Heim 10th. Cole Custer is your leader in the standings. Again, no Craftsman Series race this week. I'm not paying attention to the schedule on that one. That is my mistake. I should be doing that, but It's just not happening. 55 of you watching, thanking you greatly as we reach the halfway point and getting you closer and closer to the Stanley Cup playoffs. I do believe at literally at the top of the hour, I do believe the official pre-show is starting. I have not looked at that. I do know that the official footage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, so I'll be going live probably between 7:30, but no later than 7:45 for my own footage. I think I'd said it would start at 7:30, so moving right along, getting on to it. In WNBA action, your Connecticut Sun are still your number one team at 15-3. The Liberty are 13-3. The Lynx are 10-3, although I do believe I might be incorrect in that. I don't know what happened, friends, but it looks like I'm back. I guess I just had a blip or something. No, Daniel, we didn't crash. Maybe it's the Y6 again. I don't know what happened, but at least we're back here on, and that was very interesting. But we're okay. The feed is back on, so. But I was almost getting ready to wind things down anyway, because I guess I don't know what happened with the feed or what I was talking about, but I was just talking that Edmonton decided not to go away quietly. They wanted to just come back and force a Game 7, which they did, and here we are today. So let's bring up the shills really quickly. All right, Meech's Musings is coming up tomorrow, Tuesday, June 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, in what should be my time spot, but because I'm in this time spot, we've decided to swap. So Jeff will be there for his musings tomorrow. Greg Cherry Show, Wednesday, June 26th, 7 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern. And of course, Jack of All Trades on Thursday, featuring Matty Laws, the founder of the Multiverse of Media, Jeff Meacham, Chris Cass, and former WWE hardcore champion Maven Huffman, who has been doing very, very well with his own YouTube channel, giving away stories and potential secrets about all that. He will make his appearance on Jack of All Trades. Greg is very proud of this. I am also very proud of my brother for that, for getting this done. So please watch in for that. Then on Friday, June 28th at 5 p.m. Eastern, AEW presents Forbidden Door as booked by the Dads on Wrestling. This is Renegade and Jeff as they decide who would wrestle who in their own fantasy booking if they were booking everything, which of course leads into Simply Predicting for Forbidden Door with Noah Foster on June 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. And of course, let's not forget our Saturday night shenanigans every Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, as we talk about what goes on in the week of wrestling on Open Mic. That is pretty much it. Again, with basketball over and with hockey ending tonight, the shows are going to be whittled down. Not much more news until we get back to football season at the end of the summer. And like I said, next week also we will be in the regular time slot, Tuesday night, July 2nd. But I will make this announcement now. There will be no sports bar at all the following week. The week that I would be on the air, July 9th, I am not going to do a show because I and Dory Lou and I believe Tyler too, we're going to the Knoxville Fan Expo in Knoxville on July 12th and 13th. So to get ready for that, I have to go to my regular job and I want to put all my focus. I want to Instacart as much as I possibly can to make as much money as I can so I can go up to the talented people, the talented guests that are going to be there and get interviews and clips and autographs. And I just want to go and enjoy it. So there will be no sports bar on July 9th. Then, of course, work schedule permitting, back in the sports bar on July 16th. So that's pretty much what's going to happen. I am going to end this episode of Sports Bar, but I will be back probably about in 20 minutes with a brand new feed. I just want to make sure everything is put together, get the headsets warmed up, get the TV warmed up, get your drinks, get your snacks. Tonight is Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I cannot wait. I want to invite you all to watch, support, super chat. Give me your picks. Who takes home Lord Stanley's Cup? Does it stay in Florida or does it go on a round trip to Edmonton? Who knows what's going to happen in less than an hour. Until then, my friends, I love you all. Watch the watch along. Until then, Stat Boy will be temporarily, and let me make sure I get this right because I don't want to mess this part up. Stat Boy out. See you soon.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.